gentlemen, welcome to the Phalynx Podcast. This is the first official episode we have released, and this time I'm actually being joined here by the... Cut!
Leave it! Bloopers! Hi, everybody. I'm Mr. Teacher Guy. I'm the other voice on the other end of this thing. Your co-host, if you will. Patreon has been kind enough to set all of this up, so all I have to do is click a record button, because every time I try and set something up, my computer implodes into like a small black hole. So I let him do the setting stuff because it tends to work better.
Essentially, when it comes to like him like having a system fully implode, just Albert Einstein is just sitting in the corner getting a boner right now.
Einstein is like, oh look, the theory of relativity with my crazy hair and sleeping like 4 hours a day and like a week, and like I drank a lot of coffee and maybe did quite a bit of methamphetamine that I made in my lab. There's a rumor that he created like a form of like super Adderall and like never gave the formula to anybody
because it's probably dangerous.
That's another episode, though. Well, dude, he was in Germany during World War II. What was the biggest thing they gave the German army during World War II? High-powered meth called Pervitin. It was like the purest methamphetamine ever. I mean, like we're talking Walter White meth here. All right,
like fucking.
They used to lace chocolate
individuals would kill to get type of meth like that.
They used to lace chocolate bars with it, and they called it Panzer chocolate or tank chocolate because they give it to tank crews, right? Yeah. They would have these huge long drives or needed to stay up all night to like make sure the Russians didn't overwhelm them with like a fucking army ant worth of tanks. Yeah.
Just so they didn't just like ooga booga just show up.
I mean, even though the Russian tanks at one point couldn't penetrate anything that the Germans had. So it was basically just the Russians sitting there throwing high velocity rocks at the Germans. But like, you know, then like the later series T tanks came into play, and it was like, we've all played War Thunder. We know how that goes.
Yep.
We're talking full on like, you know, as they're coming around the corner, just
pretty much, yeah.
So Germans going inside the turret trying to crank the thing, whereas the Russians just like because their turrets were electronic. It was amazing.
Like, time to die. Beep.
If you guys ever want to watch an amazing movie on tank battles, check out T-34. I think it's free on YouTube.
It might be. I do want to also quickly disclose that this, even though that yes, this is our first episode. This episode is sponsored by Phalynx Fabrications. There's an individual of ours that does 3D printing. Trust me, I know I've received multiple 3D prints, including things like a Hunt Showdown poison bomb and a AA battery holder that I use to hold batteries for my Oculus Rift S.
My headphone holder, man. Check this thing out.
Right.
This is the Way headphone holder with the Boba Fett logo on it. I mean, I did the painting on it. It came in a black filament like that, but this is the type of stuff. Also, if you get anything painted from him, generally it's coming from me. So
right. And if you want to check it out for yourself, this isn't going to be shown on Spotify or anything or any of those channels. But if you're viewing this on YouTube, there's a link in the description where you could go check out a store. Thank you to Phalynx Fabrications for sponsoring this video.
He's Warhammer fans. He's got some super rad Warhammer stuff that, like, if you email him about it, it's not on his store. This is the only thing that he'll do. He'll only do this for people that like mention the podcast in the email. By the way. You have to mention the podcast or he won't do this. Be like, hey, we listen to the podcast, blah, blah, blah. We'd like some Warhammer stuff. I got this cool Inquisitorial seal and a Rosarius from him. And then I also have that I haven't painted him yet, but I got a Jinjarin little guy.
Yeah.
Who's super, super super detailed if you're looking, and this is going to be for a tabletop game I'm going to be playing with Chris and a couple other people down the line at some point.
So it's not just like random decorations you would have. Sometimes these could have like actual uses. Like I know that some 3D printers actually like they create miniatures. for things like
and
Warhammer
Jimmy is
such.
totally open to doing custom stuff. If you guys can send him FTL files, he's more than happy to do
files and if you email him to Filament Fabrications, he will see if he can get that made.
Yeah, if his printer's capable of doing it, he'll do it. And he's got a Persa printer, so it's got a pretty good printer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you guys want like a higher quality print, it's going to take a little longer. It's obviously going to cost a little bit more because it's more time, and he's only got the one printer right now. So,
right.
But that being said, he's also got a bake chamber coming pretty soon. So he's going to be able to take your prints, resin coat them, and bake it so it's like an indestructible print.
Right.
I mean, it's going to have like an epoxy hard resin on the outside that makes it look super smooth and clean. And the resin is paintable because I made him do that. So you can still you can get a super high quality print and then paint it. And if you guys want like basic airbrushing stuff, he has a amazing airbrush setup too. So like, I don't have any of his airbrush stuff. You haven't gotten your 19 yet, have you?
No, I haven't. Not yet.
Okay, he's working on it. Last I saw, he was working on it. But check out the channel. Hey, he's also got a channel on Twitch where he shows prints being made. So
link will be in the description if you're watching this on YouTube.
Yes, definitely. It's super cool. You can just watch like little prints come to life on his thing, and periodically you'll see him like stick his head in and be like, "Aw."
Yeah.
If a print goes wrong. But he's got that thing programmed, man. He's put almost 1,000 hours of printing into it since he bought it, and he only got it like 6 months ago?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, he's been printing like nonstop. So, and also if you guys want custom colors, send him the filament. Just literally send him the filament. He'll probably do the print for free for the cost of the filament. Right. Like, because he's cool like that.
So from there, let's talk
just
about
make sure it's like talk to him, email him on his story. He's like super open to like custom stuff. Also, if you guys are Titanfall fans, head over there. His data knife it's so dope. It's so fucking cool.
I saw the thing and I was sitting there thinking to myself and just like, dude, this is dope.
He also has he's working on getting the FTL files for like 3D printed butterfly knives that he's going to start painting like CS knives. It's going to be cool. Where there's a whole bunch of stuff coming down the pipe that's going to be rad.
Right.
But hopefully, if everything goes right, I'm trying to talk his dad into getting a light table.
Yeah. So
if we can get a light table,
showcase things.
No. A light table printer.
Oh.
The mini one, the little 4x4 light table printer. Do you know what that prints?
What's that?
You put copper and aluminum wire through it, and it 3D prints copper and aluminum. It prints metal.
Oh, I see.
It's so rad. It's got like a little plasma furnace in there that melts it down and goes prints metal.
Right.
So bitchin'.
All right, so
I want airsoft accessories made out of metal. Yes, give them all to me.
Just go ahead and start attaching things to your Picatinny rails, right?
Dude, I have like so many rails on that gun. Well, it's not gonna have many rails on it once the kit gets here, but once the kit gets here and I build it, I'm doing a show off on the next podcast because that thing is gonna look so sick. You guys don't understand. I got a Matrix CQB rifle and then something called a Striker. Was it electromagnetic EMR kit for it? Looks like it's like the Space Force, the proposed Space Force rifle, right?
Right.
I just got it because I saw it and I'm like, oh, that's a meme and that kit's going to sell out immediately when it goes on sale. So I pre-ordered it and it just got shipped to me yesterday. But now I need to go find a super futuristic sight to put on top of it. That's my only thing. I need, because I got a little tiny ass red dot with a riser so I can use my helmet and still see it. But
so
it's not a high, but it's like, dude, it's like a 60 centimeter sight over bore. Like it's going to be such a bitch to adjust.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
It's dual 30 mil risers.
Moving on from that abnormally long sponsorship plug.
Sorry. There you go, Jimmy. Sponsorship plug, my dude.
Yeah, there you go.
Told you we'd do one.
So, from there, let's talk about the main thing that formed this podcast, which is the streaming team under the name of the Crimson Phalynx. Myself and Teacher are the founders of said team. And
indeed,
essentially what I want this team to be is I want it to be something where a bunch of content creators could just get together, not necessarily something like a pro team or something like that, far from that actually, but we would just do it in I want to like create a team where we could just have fun, make content, make people laugh, and just overall just shitpost at the end of the day. So,
pretty much, yeah.
I mean, we do it normally.
Have fun,
on our
make
own,
make fun of video games. Just like, I mean, if you guys are watching if anybody's seen any of my Mass Effect playthrough, I know there's been a lot of views on it, but that game is a literal shitpost. The whole game is a shitpost. Because
big facts, dude.
Like, one of the options in a conversation is I'm bored, shoot man in face. So, you know, like, and then the character animations on the faces was really early face rigging.
Yeah.
So, like, periodically you get the face going on, you know? I mean, I think the image I'm using from, like, my, like, BRB screen and stuff is, like, from Mass Effect 2, but it's, like...
It's just essentially the Mass Effect derp face.
It's the derp face. Yeah, it's the Shepard derp face. It's the just base male Shep derp face. It's so funny. But my guy, I gave him the bigger forehead so he gets more eyebrow movement because it's adapted to how big their face is. Right. So when he gets surprised, it's just like The Rock. Like, I'm mildly confused at what is going on. Eyebrow raise. Like,
eyebrow raise engaged.
So, as you can see, this is why we did this, right? Because we get along consistently anytime we record, unless both of us are in a super shit mood, which doesn't happen all the time.
Happen very often.
No, but it's like we generally catch ourselves and we're just like, I'm sorry, I'm being a dick. I've had a long day, or like I need a beer, or like another Rogue because I'm tired or whatever.
Right.
Other sponsorship plug, Rogue Energy. Go check that shit out. Link in the description below.
Right. We both of us have codes. I'll put both links down below so you can choose which code to use.
Just pick one. Pick one. It doesn't matter which one you use. It doesn't matter which one you use. You will get the same discount either way.
Right.
Like,
it's just you got your What's that?
You got your discount tier up, didn't you?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's 10%.
Yeah, you have 10 instead of the you had, what was it, 10, like 8 or whatever it was before?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, now he's got the full 10. I've got the full 10. I'm working on trying to get that 15, but I'm trying. So currently, Patriot, I actually messaged Toffer the other day. I'm like, so I'm a teacher. Can you guys make something that isn't jet fuel for teachers?
And what did he say?
He's like, we're working on it.
For context, just for people who don't know, Toffer's one of the people that works directly with Rogue.
Yeah, he's like one of the community managers. So my guess is it's some sort of like light version of Rogue that isn't as gnarly.
It's like the extreme, but the other way.
Yeah, it's like in between the hydration and the normal, right? Because the hydration's got a little caffeine in it.
But it's very minimal.
I think it's like 20 mils. It's super. It's like a third of a cup of coffee.
To my knowledge, I don't think it's caffeine. It's more just electrolytes.
Yeah, it's more like electrolytes and natural energy stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's caffeine. I think it's got guarana berry extract in it, but I
think so. Something like that.
Yeah, you know what your body converts that into?
What's that?
Caffeine.
It's a step before caffeine, essentially.
Yeah, basically.
Now, from there, let's go ahead and actually introduce ourselves, because there's a very strong chance that people who view this podcast have no clue who we are.
Pretty much.
I'm gonna go first with that. My IRL name is Redacted. I call myself the Dead Patriot. I stream on Twitch as well as I record on YouTube. I haven't been doing YouTube. I've been trying to get back into the swing of things. But I've been doing whatever sort of content creation or officially I've been doing content creation for 1.5 years. I've technically been doing it for more than that because I had a previous channel, but I was also 16 at the time. So like the whole idea when it comes to content creation is essentially in my blood. I've been wanting to do it since I was a young lad. And the fact that I'm still being able to carry like that idea of a dream through is a absolute surprise to me. I don't know how the hell I still have the drive to do it, but I have to give props to myself in order that I've actually been able to keep up with it for this long.
You have a good community manager that yells at you when you're being an idiot. That's how you're getting through it.
That's fair enough. Okay, Teach, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name, I go by Mr. Teacher Guy on here. Everyone calls me Greg or Scribe. Scribe was my old channel. Secret Scribe was when I was streaming Warframe like 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. I had a channel that was pretty successful on YouTube, and then the adpocalypse happened. And because my channel involved cutting things into multiple little tiny pieces with a ninja, there weren't all my ad revenue overnight. So I was making like close to $2,000 a week in ad revenue. And then sponsor deals. Like I had a sponsorship with Mountain Dew at one point. The motherfuckers shipped me a case of Code Red. I shit you not. Dude, I had Code Red coming at my eyeballs. My piss was like neon yellow for like a couple weeks. It was rad. I was so caffeinated. I was like, don't worry, guys. We're going to play some freaking games today. Just my vibrato in my voice.
You were like shaking so much that like you couldn't even aim properly.
Yeah, no. Well, I wasn't really playing shooters back then. I was playing Warframe, which like you don't really need to aim because your guns just kill everything in front of you, or your abilities kill everything on the screen. You've seen me play Warframe. You know why I don't play it. I just don't find it fun anymore. I burnt myself out on it so hard.
Right.
Like 3 or 4 times actually. Like there was one point where I told myself I'm never gonna play this game again. And fucking a week later, I'm like, fucking log in, boys, let's do it. Like, I mean, I was raiding with the developers. Somewhere out there is footage of me somewhere raiding with Rebecca, who's one of the community managers, and Megan, who's one of the the creative directors there, who are legitimately more shit posty than any of the streamers that are in that raid.
Somehow.
And I mean, we're talking like big streamers like Dizzy Disaster, like fucking who else was in there that was big? There were a couple other big Warframe streamers in there. I don't even remember who was in it. It was so long ago. It was like
most of the biggest names at the time.
It was like 4 of the biggest. We were going through the raid school bus, which is like the little Magic School Bus logo with like the Warframe, with all the little Warframe kids like hanging out the window.
Yeah.
And then Megan driving the bus. Like it was just Space Mom driving the bus. If for those of you who don't know, Space Mom is the Lotus in Warframe, though. Find out later. I'm not going to spoil it. Go play the game. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, just
such
go
a good game.
Just go play the game. We're not going to really spoil much of it.
But before that, I worked at Ubisoft during college. I worked at EA during college, doing historical research. I've always been into kind of like the research side of things. I have a degree in history. I just got a master's in secondary education. So, I'm going to be a teacher. I'm getting my MA certificate in educational technology this summer. So I'm going to be head deep in the HoloLens for like the whole summer.
Right.
Yeah, it's cool. You guys are going to see that on this podcast probably a bunch.
Yeah, just kind of showcasing the HoloLens, saying how it actually works.
It's a little bit different than that, dude. I can actually like add elements. I can add hologram elements to the podcast. So like Redflef can make an appearance as like a little duck that just like hangs out in the background or whatever.
If people are wondering what the hell is Redflef, it's my personal crow. Or duck,
it's my little duck crow thing. Hybrid bird of death.
It's essentially a thing that it literally is a thing that flies around my crypt and just I want to make it so like it's kind of, it has some sort of artificial intelligence, so every now and then it just flies around it or just lands on my shoulder. If I could do that.
You could do that with HoloLens, yeah, but you need to have your HoloViewer on, which is literally going to blow your video card to pieces. So yeah, like guys, I am at the point now where I am going to have to spend scalper-sized money to get a video card. Right. I'm going to have to pay like $1,200 for a 3060.
Right. And it sucks.
Dude, I went on their website. No, dude, you don't understand. I went on Best Buy's website where they had 3060s for sale, right? Do you know how much they're charging for a 3060 XC?
Isn't it like $1,100?
They are charging $1,399. Do you know what the MSRP is for that video card on NVIDIA's website?
Isn't it like $500? If that?
I think it's like $575. Because it's the XC. It's the extreme clock with the 3 fans. It's not the 2-fan one. It's the big. It's the fat boy card that takes 2 slots.
It's the big chunkiest one.
Right, because I need the inputs. I need 2 more DisplayPort inputs and stuff.
Right.
For a couple other things that I'm going to be using. Because I'm getting one of the Azure Capture boxes too. It's like $250.
Right.
So I can do live Azure Capture in like locations. So I can just pull out my little box, turn it on, and just be like, and capturing location.
And then it just basically does a full room trace.
Well, that's what it does. So what I want to do is I want to go over to like the Air and Space Museum and the Natural History Museum when they reopen, and I want to Azure Capture the whole building.
Just so you can have it run in like
I can have it for class. So I can have it for class later. Well, once it's Azure Captured, I can store it to my cloud and just pull the Azure Capture into my virtual space.
Right. So you could just pull up certain models.
HoloLens is mind-blowing. We'll get there when I get it. It'll be like this week at some point.
I was about to say, we'll talk about that more on a future episode.
Next episode. No, next episode, because I'll have it by next episode.
Right. From there, one thing we actually do want to talk about is something that was in our index, which is essentially something I put down just to write ideas of what we want to do for the podcast. The last time I honestly updated this, document was like a month or 2 ago, and this was when it came to Magic Legends, and it was a whole free to play thing. And I had a very strong feeling at the time. I had a very strong feeling at the time because, well, it's Magic, and they know they can make so much damn money off of this game. So I had a very strong feeling that it was going to be something in relation to pay to win, which from what I've heard, it sounds like that ended up being the case.
Okay, so Magic Legends, Pedro, you need to find some footage and put it in here somewhere for Magic Legends because it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, the gameplay looks good.
Right, it's a very similar gameplay. Yeah, okay, so it's a very similar gameplay mechanic to if you've ever played like Inquisitor Martyr or Diablo or Path of Exile. Same kind of jam, right?
Right.
Except the combat is the most unique shit I've ever seen in a game. You have a caster deck. So you like your traditional Magic the Gathering deck, right?
Right.
That's your spells. You can only have a set amount of them. I think it's like 8 cards in a caster deck at once. But then you can have equipment cards and enchantment cards and like, all the other stuff that goes along with Magic to like buff your guys up. Right? And like your instants and sorceries to buff guys up.
Right.
And that's a whole nother subset of spells, but they're not castable all the time. They're just kind of like reserve spells that occasionally pop into your spell deck and you can cast them quickly. Right? So like, for instance, I have a summonable squirrel because I went for the like green guy, like the elf guys. Right?
Right.
But I can do a giant growth on him that turns him into a 4/4 giant uber beast. That's just like uber giant squirrel that just like shits all over something for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I just recently got a Thorn Elemental I can summon. So, like, if you guys are familiar with the card game at all, it's like one of the iconic large green monsters. It's like one of the original, like, rare green monsters. I think it's like a 7/7 with trample, which is a pretty powerful creature in Magic, right? Now, in the game, I can take that creature and I can giant growth it, and it turns into a 10/10 that can't physically move around the environment because it's too big. Now, anything that's in that little space where you just giant growth it is very dead. Because it just goes.
Everything is
it's like
dead within about a couple seconds.
I am the end. I speak for the trees.
It's essentially the alpha version of Big Chungus, is what I'm hearing right now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yes, yes, I know, dead meme. Don't post shit in the comments.
Whatever. Yeah, but the problem is, in order to get new packs, you have to complete quests and get coins.
Or
if you don't have let me finish. If you don't have the premium version, this is a grind fest. You will literally sit in an area grinding 2 to 3 coins a monster. Right? A pack of cards is like 1,000 coins for the
Right.
basic ones, and you get like 3 cards.
Right.
Right? With a
and it's not even a guarantee if they're good ones.
With a low chance of an uncommon and a very low chance of a rare, right? And no chance of a legendary. So 0 legendary chance in the base pack. The next pack up is 5,000 coins. Right?
Right.
Now, if you get the premium, killing an enemy gives you like 20 coins. Right?
And there's where the monetizable / pay.
There's your monetization. And granted, it's a reasonable price for an MMO. It's like, I think, $10 a month, something like that.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I mean,
that's your regular MMO cost.
Yeah, that's like
I'm okay with that.
WoW.
And it's Turbine. So, like, I'm okay with paying Turbine $10 a month because they do a really good job on the Dungeons and Dragons game, and any money that goes into that, I'm all for that. The only problem is I can never get a squad together to play that with me that is like knows Dungeons and Dragons well enough to understand that it's not WoW. And
yeah, I was about to say those are 2 very different games.
Yeah, because WoW doesn't work on a dice system where people
bases it off
people
of
don't understand.
Chance.
Like they'll go be like, why can't I hit with the same amount of damage every time? I'm like, it's a fucking dice roll, damn it. You have to use your skills to improve your dice roll chance. I don't like explaining it to people takes too long.
It makes you want to throw up.
Here's my problem. Here's my problem with the Magic the Gathering thing. You can pay real world cash to buy in-game currency.
Therein lies the issue.
It's not buying packs, because that I'd be okay with. If you could just buy a pack for an X amount of money, cool. That's how Magic works. Right?
Right.
But it's the fact you can buy currency. And there are certain vendors in that game that sell individual cards.
Right.
It's not a random roll. That require you to pay an X amount of coins or an X amount of a premium currency or another currency that you can acquire with coins. Right? That's a problem. Because what it means is, and that vendor has a limited amount of those cards.
So they could just hoard them.
Which means you're going to get fucking Kaibas in that game.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get Kaiba-style players that literally monopolize a single card. Right? And make it unusable by any other player. And that's going to be a problem. Because they've now spent real-world cash on a virtual item, and now they're going to take it away from somebody for monopolizing it. They can go to court for that. And they'll win. Because that's technically false advertising, saying you have, an item that you can buy, but you can't buy X amount of them. Now, they can fix this by capping the amount of cards you have, like they do in the actual card game with, like, restricted cards, right? Where you can only own X amount of them, right?
And they won't let you have any more.
Yeah. Like, in a deck, like, for instance, I have a legendary dragon deck that I play Magic, like, an actual Magic with. It's fucking locked in a box somewhere in a closet, but have one, and it's from old Legends set, right? You can't have more than one of each of the legendary dragons in that deck, because having 2 of the same legendary, because they're technically not a legendary creature, they're a legendary named creature, but it doesn't say legendary on the card, which means you can have multiple of the same one, but they have global effects on them, which is why they're so powerful and they cost a fuckload of mana. But like, it's a pain deck. Like, you push it out. You push out the healing one first, and then it regens all your health every turn.
Yeah.
Right? It's broken. It's bullshit. And rumor has it, they're starting from, like, a base set and working out. And one of the sets they want to add is Legends. And I'm like, you guys are fucking crazy if you keep that monetization system to then.
Yeah.
You're nuts. I get it at the beginning of a game, and you have a limited number of cards, and there's no super rares yet. So there's only but there's like, they're kind of in a weird flux, because some of them are old gold cards and some of them are the new red rarity. Like,
they take it from different eras of, like, the Magic the Gathering.
Yeah. Like, considering, like, Nissa is one of the characters I've run into in that game. She's from Mirrodin, right? Like, she's the like robot, or the, like, mecha weird, like, metal forest in Mirrodin. Super cool. I love the Mirrodin block, just because it's like a steampunk Magic the Gathering, and it's fucking cool. It's like steampunk Aether magic robots and shit. It's cool. That's actually the only set. I collected the entire set. I got one of every card from all 3 variants of that thing, dude. I have a binder somewhere that's like yay big with every single set in it.
Right.
It's probably worth a fuckload of money right now. Oh wait, probably. No, I don't, because my mom threw it out. You know how much that whole kit's worth right now? If I had the whole thing, it's worth $14,000.
And you know certain people will actually pay that much. That's the thing.
No, you don't understand. Every card in that binder is mint. I pulled it straight from a pack and it went straight into a binder. Yeah. Into a sleeve, into a binder. They're mint condition. They've never been touched. They've never been played.
Right.
And I had multiples of like 90% of the set, right? Because dude, my friends and I got in good with a guy at a Wizards of the Coast store, right? And we used to go and play, whatchamacallit, like Friday Night Magic, where they do like drafts and shit.
Yeah.
But it was like the official ranked ones for Wizard. And back then, they had rank rewards as you went up through the standings. Yeah. You could earn free shit in the store or like free credit in the store. So we just saved all our credit. And then one day we went in there. I'm like, I want a box of that, and 2 boxes of that. And he's like, how are you paying for all that? I'm like, check my rank credit. And he went in and looked. He's like, shit, man, you got 3 more boxes you can pick. I'm like, all right, give me 2, 2, and 2. And one of that one because I like that set.
Yeah.
You know, like, dude, I got a free box. I got a free box of Onslaught. I ended up getting a full Phantom set out of that box. That full Phantom set is worth like, I think $400 now.
Yeah.
And that's not in mint. That's like in 7 condition. In mint, it's worth like a couple grand.
Oh yeah. Big time. Okay, so
like
there's one thing I will say. It's just like I feel like a lot of games, especially certain publishers, don't know how to properly handle stuff like microtransactions.
Dude, you know who does it perfectly? And I'm going to bring it back to a game that I mentioned earlier, Warframe.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can earn the premium currency in-game by trading.
Right.
For free. You don't have to spend a cent to get any of the premium content in that game.
You just have to
you can earn it all.
And besides,
not even.
On top of that, it's not even
the grind's not hard. But the grind's not hard. It's not PvP, and it's super fun, and you make friends. That's how I met Mitch.
Right.
Was doing relic grinding. We spent 9 hours just shooting the shit, chatting, and grinding relics.
Right.
Or sorry, keys back then. We didn't have relics yet. We had we had void keys.
Right.
Back when it was just void. Dude, we had like 4 defense maps to get relics off of. And by the time it got to like where we were, you could solo defend the map with one character. If you stood in one location, you could hit every single spawn point with a gun.
And then just everything dies.
And then no, but like you played as Nova, you didn't need to do anything. You literally hit one button, waited for everything to get the big glowy shiny on it, waited for all of them to get close, and shot one guy, and that was it.
Everything dead.
No, do you know what happens when Nova primes an enemy? When it gets the glowy from the Nova and you shoot it?
What's that?
The enemy explodes like a grenade. Oh, and if that explosion kills another guy, that dude explodes. And then the next dude explodes. And then the next dude explodes. And then the funny thing is, it's a ramping damage for every explosion. So eventually you get one of the ones where it'll go boom, boom, shoom, and everything's dead. Because it just applies damage so fast because it's dots, right?
Yeah.
Nova also has the ability to like. Also, Nova has probably the coolest cosmetics in the game because she's got like the World War II like pilot outfit, but it's all like cool and like Victorian and steampunk looking.
Right.
It's all like straps and like metal plates, and then just like the sideways like little pilot helmet kind of thing.
Right.
You know, hat. I forget what it's called.
I don't remember.
Like, you know how the Navy guys have the little foldy hat that folds into a rectangle, and they like put it under that thing, and it's that, but it's all off to the side and like pinup styley. But like, I think that's the best one because it's like Nova with like the most minimal armor ever, and she doesn't look like a threat at all. and then she just whips a ball across the map, shoots it with a shotgun, it hits somebody and detonates and wipes the whole room.
It is like, oh, it's you're there now? No.
Don't fuck with Nova. She's real scary. She can also do a thing where she like throws a portal down and like blinks through it. Yeah, she has some really cool moves. I like Nova a lot.
There's also another game that I know, and I'm very much guarantee that you've heard of it because of how much I've played the game, that does microtransactions right. Because it's I was about to say it's a PvP game, but any sort of payments that you make is all purely cosmetic. And you can actually earn them in game. It's a game called there's a lot of people that may not know this game because it's made by Crytek. It's not made by a major
super major developer, but it is really cool though because it's a test platform for some of Crytek's new technology that they come out with.
Right.
Like their fluid physics are super good in that game. I don't know if you've noticed, but like when I hit the big meat boys with the so there's a weapon called the bomb lance. It's the closest thing you can get to a rocket launcher in that game.
Right. And I don't think I've actually said the name of the game. For those who want to know and they want to check it out for themselves, the game is called Hunt Showdown.
Yeah, they're awesome. I love Hunt. And the devs are super cool. They're responsive. Like there's been multiple times where you've messaged the devs and they shit post about the game. Yeah,
I mean, they recently added like a special ammunition thing, and one of the devs said it's just like, I am now calling it the Uwu box. If you don't know what that means, look it up and see it for yourself. It dead ass on the top of the box just says Uwu.
Like, that's what it says every time. And the funny thing is I think every single time we found one of them in the game, one of us in the party has said, "Ooh, what this?"
Pretty much, yeah. And we don't even call it a special ammunitions box. We always
we just call it the Uwu box because it's shorter. It's shorter. Like we have shorthand. We have our own shorthand for that game, and it's just comedy. We've got doggos.
We have demon doggos. We got the big bitches. We got the bee bitches.
We got bee bitches. We got Bernie boys.
The hentai monster.
We got the Bernie boys. We've got just the regular
the flame boy.
And then the regular guys that I call the Chotty boys that are just like, the regular just zombies wandering around, just cannon fodder. And then we've got that fucker over there, which is usually another hunter. Yeah. Dude, we've had some amazing kills in Hunt too, man.
Yeah, and in recent time, one thing I really want to do props to the devs of Hunt is they recently added a skill-based matchmaking system. Now, when it comes to the skill SBMM,
it's great.
When it comes to the SBMM, what they used to use, or technically they still use because you could disable skill-based matchmaking, which is nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you could disable it.
Why would you ever do it? Why would you ever do it though?
I don't know. But they used to use what they used to use was like an ELO based, or like how do you say it? It's either ELO or LO. It's an
ELO.
It's ELO. An ELO based system. I don't know how exactly they calculate your number, but now
I don't either.
When they do the newer SBMM, they actually base them on your KD ratio, like how often you've been getting kills. And the one thing that's actually really nice that I really appreciate is for people that haven't played Hunt in a while, you actually get put into a lower bracket for like the first like 3 or 4 games.
It's like 3 or 4. And the other cool thing is if you're playing with another player that is a lower overall rank
with you, then it actually
averages it and puts you in that group. So it's like you have a higher chance of running into people that both of you can deal with, but it's still a challenge. Like, the last couple games we've played, I still go down, but Patriot's good enough that he can come up, jack the guys, and get me up. Right? I mean, he even had one time, we were playing with another person we stream with, periodically Princess, who, threw a choke bomb, put the fire out on me, ended up getting jacked. Patriot finds the dude trying to loot my corpse, puts a double-barreled shotgun to the back of his head, turns it into goo, pulls me up, I run and grab Princess, he turns around and just straight lever jacks blind fire at a dude that's running through the woods and gets him straight in the head. It was the most, just like,
one of the
did
best
you get him? I just hear, I'm like over reviving Princess, and I just hear Pedro go, just in the background, I'm like,
pow, pow, pow,
pow, pow. I just hear pow, 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 yeah. And I'm just like, what the fuck happened? And he's like, I got him in the head on the run, and I'm like, were you levering? And he's like, yup.
Yep.
I'm like, dude.
And there's one thing I actually do really appreciate about Hunt. It's not unfairly balanced in the slightest.
No, not at all. Like, most of the guns are really balanced, unless you run into a bomb lance, and then you're just fucked. But, like...
no, there's ways you could... there's ways that you can counter it.
But, like, the thing is if you fire a bomb lance and the guy dodges it, and you predict the direction they're going to dodge in, you can catch them close range and hit them once with that thing, and they're down.
Yeah, melee, it's guaranteed a one-shot. Melee, it's guaranteed a one-shot.
If you catch them with the dart, it's a one-shot, too. Right. And there ain't going to be anything of them left.
Right.
I mean, to give you an idea, guys, the bomb lance, for reference, is a giant stick with a steampunk contraption on the front that shoots a giant bolt with a stick of dynamite duct taped to it, for lack of a better term.
Immediately gets lit as it goes.
As it goes off, right? And then underneath it is like a giant executioner axe blade looking thing.
Right. It uses a lot of stamina when you use it, but
yeah, you use a third of your stamina when you swing it. But the other thing is it's got cleave. And it's one of the few weapons in that game with cleave. It's like that, and I think the cavalry saber are the only ones that have it, right?
The cavalry saber, and I think the combat axe.
Oh, yeah, you're right. The combat axe has it too. And then there's a couple of them that have puncture. That's like the bomb lance when you do the thrust with it, and the pitchfork. But the pitchfork's just there for comedy. Like, you know they put a pitchfork in there because they want to see some dude get a pitchfork kills compilation.
Yeah, and one thing that's actually funny that I've been seeing a lot of recently, you can kill people with the doors. It's doable.
I know it is.
Like, dude, you slam the door open and you hit them, you can kill them with the door. It's fucking funny.
Dude, no, I was watching, who was it? IGP, I think, was playing it. Which, like, dude, if IGP plays that game and gets into it, that game's going to get a huge player base really fast.
Really fast.
But, dude, IGP was playing it with somebody else. I keep bugging Jacksepticeye. I'm like, dude, you got to play Hunt. You and the boys got to play Hunt.
It's right up your alley.
Right. Dude, he and Markiplier have to play Hunt together.
Yeah,
that would be the funniest.
I would watch that
would just
so
be them going
fast.
As they're running away from bees the whole time. That's all that would be. You just see an Irishman with like his head on fire from an immolator running away from bees and like a bunch of dogs across a field. I'm like, oh look, there goes Jack. Markiplier's like, hi, I'm Markiplier. I've got a shotgun. Boom, boom.
He would try to find ways to just be stupid in the game.
No, Jack would come up with creative ways to kill people, I think. Yeah. It's like, dude, think about what him and Corpse playing that game would be. Corpse would be hilarious.
Have a field day.
Oh, dude, him and Corpse would just wreck. Corpse is a good FPS player, too.
Right. Which I wasn't expecting. Like I saw Corpse
did you watch him?
Just like, wow.
Did you watch his COD playthrough? It's like watching John. No, go watch his old Infinite War playthrough. With that wall running movement mechanic stuff that they had.
Right.
Bro, he does this kill in a multiplayer game. He literally 360 runs around a dude while shooting him off the wall. It's the most fucking mind-blowing kill I've ever seen. And it was a dude in a Juggernaut suit. So, like, it took 2 mags to kill him. He, mid-wall run, kills, shoots, reloads, and just finishes the dude off. I was like... Damn,
that's impressive.
That's real. Like I used a shotgun because I was a shitter in that game, but like that was the real easy way to get kills on a wall run because it's got a huge circle spread. So if you're like running and chasing somebody, you just shoot them in the legs and they fall off the wall.
Yeah,
and that usually meant their death because it was like usually open like an open pit. Because a lot of those levels were like kind of Titanfall-y. That's why I really liked that game. I don't know why people didn't like Infinite Warfare. I don't think people got it.
I think it was because it was a completely different set of movement mechanics that wasn't like before. Like stuff like Black Ops
and then all the Titanfall players are like, oh, we can go play COD now for like, the 6 months between 1 and 2 coming out.
Pretty much.
And just go school the COD community and what movement mechanics are. And one of the characters had the grapple.
Yeah.
He had a grapple gun on his wrist. But I mean, it was only like a point to point. Like you couldn't do the rotational shit that you can do
do the swing like you do in Titanfall.
Yeah, you can do the swing. But like, dude, I don't know how many times I like ledge kill people essentially. Like straight up, like I was playing like, Smash Bros, right?
Yeah.
I'd jump off a ledge, get real low. The guy would follow me to try and get the kill right before we both went off to get the extra point. And I'd just be like, later, nerd. Whee!
And then he was just like, shit.
I know. I'd spin around and just get a single pistol shot off on him before he hits the thing. So it gives the point to whoever did the last damage, right?
Right.
Because COD's fucked up like that. It's COD. What do you expect?
It's broken.
Nothing works in COD. The whole game is broken, dude. I've played more games of Nuketown with graphical glitches than I have with none. I think.
Yeah, right.
And I play a lot of Nuketown. I know every hiding spot, every strat. Patriots see me do dumb shit like straight up duck dive with a freaking frisbee bomb straight into the middle of a house. Like, frisbee bombs are proxy mines for anybody who doesn't know.
Right.
Because if you throw it, if you aim them up, they throw like a frisbee. Otherwise, you just kind of like throw it down on the ground, right? But if you get it above your center line on your screen, you throw it like a frisbee, and you can actually get a huge range throw out of it.
Right.
But I think the best...
It's a spicy ultimate frisbee.
Right. No, I still think the best one was Patriot when you ran into the house and the whole enemy team was just sitting in the house, and you're just like, hello, threw a det charge down and just clicked the button. You died, but you got like 9 kills out of it, so who gives a fuck?
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, you just like that. And then there was the time I sat behind the wall with the light machine gun and the thermal sight and just that tiny, tiny little gap. And I'm just like, wait for it. And just light the whole team up as they came down the alleyway.
Right.
And everyone's like, they had no idea where I was. For about a good like 10 minutes. They had no idea where I was. And I put down an assault pack.
And the funny
next to me, so I just had unlimited ammo.
The funny part about all of that is the fact that or like one of the funny parts about COD is that something that actually surprises a good chunk of people is that I know how, or I can essentially use any sort of semi-automatic weapon and essentially turn it into full auto. Not through macros. It's just my finger actually moves that fast.
That's called ADHD, son.
No, that's called utilizing your epilepsy.
Man, make that twitch happen, bro. Just like pop one of those like light visors on that's supposed to like heal your skin and just keep your eyes open for a few minutes, and then you get the whole hoobada.
Yeah, I have been honestly. I've been
just like hook his hand up to a mouse.
He's been reported more times for using macros. For back when I was playing a bunch of Modern Warfare, which I'm still trying to relink my Activision account to my previous account because it's been 12 months now.
So your ban should be over, right?
Or it's not a ban. It's just more of a security procedure.
Yeah.
So I'm in the process of linking it to my previous Battle.net account. I had to make a new one and buy Modern I didn't buy Modern Warfare. But, I did it for Warzone because this is before I actually got a decent graphics card. I was using my Shadow at the time. They didn't have the extra storage for me to buy. And because of that, I had to make a new account, link my Activision to the new to my old Battle.net account, and essentially I had to do it that way.
That's a problem. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, that was the issue.
That must have been a giant shit show.
Yeah, I hated that, honestly. However, the thing is that when I was using the FAL, whether it be in multiplayer or in Warzone, I have no idea how many times I've been reported for using macros.
Oh yeah,
But
or like an auto clicker.
Yeah, but every time, like, I guarantee every time that Activision looks at those reports and they look at like how I'm clicking the mouse, it's just like, no, this is legitimate.
Well, I mean, the other thing you started doing was putting an input mapper on your screen.
Yeah, like on my streams, I put like an input mapper where it actually shows my clicking. And if you look very closely, like if you look frame by frame, it's not like an exact timing between clicks.
There's
all variables
going on and off. Like it's not like an automatic. Yeah, he doesn't do that. I can vouch for that. I've played him 1v1. I can still beat him. And if he was using macros and shit, like I wouldn't be able to do that. There's no way.
Yeah, and also the funny part was
I'm good at COD. Don't get me wrong, but like I'm not that good.
I was about to say, like when I was back when I was playing a bunch of Cold War before I stopped playing it because cheaters.
Oh, dude, it's bad. I can't even play the zombies mode anymore.
Yeah, it was so bad. But when it came to using the FAL back in Modern Warfare, I loved to just shit talk people. It was really funny. The reason why was because everyone was using things like MP5s, M4s, or the 725 or some other BS like that. And I just spanked their ass with that FAL, which is semi-automatic. And I'm sitting there going, dude, you just got your shit rocked and you're using the fucking meta guns. You remember
talk
to me.
You remember before they like adjusted the stoner?
Oh,
like at the early point in the game, and no one realized how good the light machine guns were because they all played with the first one, the M60, and were just like, fuck this, you can't hit anything with this thing. Right?
And it was absolutely batshit hilarious.
Yeah, and then I got down and I got the stoner, and I'm just like, oh, this is a 200 round assault rifle.
Basically.
With no recoil. This is a laser gun.
And with Cold War,
the best stream, man, if you can find this footage and put it in, be awesome, is the one where all you hear is me running by in full red Russian attire going, "Oorah!" Just with like hip firing a light machine gun, just spraying into oblivion. And I got like the whole team. No one expects the dude to rush you hip firing a light machine gun that's accurate with it.
Right. And the thing that's the funniest thing about all of that was when I started becoming one with the content cannon.
Oh man. Dude, his either grenade launcher or rocket launcher
using the RPG and the between the RPG
M79.
and the grenade. And yeah, the M79, I was scary. I was frightening with that thing. I've had so many.
I'd be going to cut a group down, and all I hear is thump, thump, and it would just be like, boom, boom, and I'd just be like, I was shooting at them, and he's like, I got to them faster. As he's running past me, just like, pink, DI.
Yeah, like that's how I started getting really good with my flicks. That's how I started getting good with my flicks. Like normal people would think about using people would normally think about using things like snipers to get really good with their flicks. No, I just use a grenade launcher just cause comedy.
Dude, it was a thing. You were literally just fucking with people.
I was about to say, that's how the whole idea of me just calling it the
Speaking of wars, so we were talking about this the other day in a like we weren't even on stream, I don't think. I made you watch a video from this guy, Carl Smallwood, Fact Fiend.
Yeah.
This guy right here. Go check out his channel. It's awesome. They do a podcast. He's got a gaming channel.
Sounds like you're plugging
He probably
yourselves.
doesn't remember me. He probably doesn't remember me, but no, like I'm more than happy to plug his channel. He makes great content. It's really good. It's factual. He fact checks everything. It's all right.
It is like the big funny.
It is big funny. He also is just like the biggest piss take on the fucking entirety of like YouTube industry, which I love. Do you know what his legal company name is?
What's that?
Big Wangers Incorporated. Ltd. Incorporated Limited.
As you do.
I love that man so much. I have a Big Wangers Inc. shirt coming because they just put out shirts.
As you should. If you have a company
and you know what the funny thing is? The guy that owns their building asked them if they film porn. Because, no, I'm not joking. Because, what do you think? It's like an office, right? And they're bringing in green screens and cameras and a couch.
Right.
Because they sit on a couch and play video games, right? In the office, right? And lights and, more cameras and a computer. What do you think? What did he think they were doing up there, right? But now they have, a great office with, a glass front on it. It's, a really cool office now. Yeah, he does really hilarious content. But one of the videos I made Patriot watch it's called Britain Doesn't Give a Fuck. It's literally the title of the video. You see why YouTube doesn't like him very much.
YouTube, no.
It's literally the whole video is possibly the greatest compilation of just stories from the Blitz during World War II. And it's literally Britons just being like, oh, it's a tad bit blitzy tonight, isn't it? They were talking about the fact that the Luftwaffe was coming over and dropping 500-pounders on them. Right. They called it blitzy. They came up with their own weather patterns for bombers. I mean, come on now. My personal favorite.
It's so dumb.
And my personal favorite story is the one of the shopkeeper, right? He's out there sweeping up, right? And he's got a sign hanging on the front of his shop that's got the whole front blown off it. It says, "We're still open, just a little more open than normal" on it. It's the whole front of the shop's gone. But yeah, they gave zero fucks. Women in Britain loved it when air raids happened. You know why? Because it gave them an excuse to sit in a bomb shelter and shoot the shit and drink with their friends.
Right.
Because there wasn't shit else to do the whole night. No one was sleeping. So what do? They give the kids a whole bunch of brandy cake, which will knock them out, right? And then the women would stay up and play cards and drink. It's a great, dude. It sounds like a blast. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God. I just did it. I think I just actually managed to link my Activision account to my original Battle.net account. So all my anime waifu shit has been transferred.
Wait, from your old account?
Yeah.
Oh, so you have all your weird
Activision account.
Oh, so you have all your weird anime guns back.
Yes. Which excellent. I just love using because it's such a shitpost.
Oh, dude. Holy fuck, dude. I have had one of these and I'm starting to have trouble seeing straight.
I mean, you said you're drinking.
So for reference, guys, I'm drinking a Billy's at the beach from Newport Beach. It's this great, just kind of dive restaurant, but it's a high-end dive, right? It's a hole in the wall kind of place. You got to know about it to know what it is. It's great food, and they have a Mai Tai that is straight up jet fuel.
Ironically.
But you can't taste the alcohol. I can't taste any of the alcohol in this, just so you know. It's look at the color, okay? Look at that color. Just so you know, that's supposed to be a tan color. Okay? That is straight rum. And I can't taste any of it. It's a problem. Okay? I watched a cousin of mine yesterday at my master's graduation party that it happened drink 6 of these sitting down and then try and stand up. He almost face planted. It was gorgeous.
Okay, I'm literally launching this on my shadow just to make sure that all of my stuff transferred properly.
Think about this for a second. I'm a big dude, and I drink quite often.
It's transferred.
One of these has me hoo-hoo. My mom had 2 yesterday, and she's maybe 120 pounds, soaking wet.
Yeah.
She's a little lady, okay?
It did go well, did it?
Dude, my mom started drunk texting my cousins. I had to take her phone away. Okay? I had to confiscate my mom's phone. It was hilarious. It was the funniest thing I've ever had to do in my life. I'm like, took their phone away and I put it in my dad's shirt pocket. I'm like, don't give that back to her. And he's like, don't worry, I'm not going to.
And Teach, I'm verifying this now. All of it transferred.
Woo!
So you know how I said that I had an old Battle.net account where I have stuff like Overwatch, Diablo, etc.
Yeah.
All of my Activision shit transfers now.
So you can play Diablo and all
under the same account.
Excellent. Excellent.
So now the my old Battle.net account, minus Cold War, I can just delete that. I can just delete that account now because I don't need it.
Sweet. So I see the other thing we have on here is a Sea of Thieves topic. So we've played a lot of Sea of Thieves recently since the new update, which is super fun.
And I uploaded a video on this on my YouTube channel of just stupid. The intro is honestly probably the best ones I've edited.
God, it's just, I had a really long day. So for reference, guys, I teach high school. Like, I didn't mention this in my intro. I teach high school now. Okay? I'm a high school teacher. I'm in the process of finding a job, but I was doing student teaching and various other things.
Right.
This last year. And like, you know, I don't remember where I was going with this, but like I had a rough day at high school. I had a rough day teaching. We caught like 3 kids cheating. I literally went to grade and 3/4 of the students had locked their papers for me to grade.
Yeah, they like didn't do the sharing doojiggy right.
Yeah. And I like needed to get grades in the next day. You know, one of those deals.
Yeah, obviously.
So it was, you know, just like everything went sideways for me. And I was just like, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I'm pissed, blah, blah, blah. So, and I was just like, fuck it. I'm going to go play Sea of Thieves with the boys and just like relax.
Right.
That Sea of Thieves session was the most stressful fucking shit I have ever been through. It turned into a 45-minute long sea chase where we were using ourselves as torpedoes. Like,
and we were using fire bombs just to try to set their ship on fire.
And it worked, like, quite often. We also used the Megalodon to, like, attack a ship at one point. We got it on us and then got them to, like, run in front of it, and it changed its aggro and went on them, and they were like turning around, and then all we see is the mag pop up and just take a huge chunk out of their ship, and we're all just like, yeah. We were losing our shit. I'm like, this is gonna work. I'm gonna use the Megalodon to attack their ship, and you guys are like, what? What are you doing? I'm like, just trust me. Be ready on the anchor.
I got this.
Be ready on the anchor. I got this. And then, you know, I engaged the whole. And, you know, 360 drifted around. By the way, I'm playing the deja vu thing there on the audio, if you're wondering.
Yeah. The one thing that I still find funny was the introduction to that video. That is still funny.
That intro is just. I'm like, what are you doing to my boom? All I just see at one point, I just see my dog get just launched into orbit. I just see a golden emerald dog just get. Who, by the way, his name
King Julian.
Yeah, my golden emerald King Julian. Oh my God, my freaking dog. Look at him. He's like,
to be fair, like I feel like I've been getting really good with like properly editing videos.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, you know, you have a little bit to learn because Premiere is a giant fuck show of a program. But
yeah, if anyone wants to
pardon
know
my language, everybody, but that is a true fact, and anybody that uses Premiere will agree with me.
Yeah, I was about to say the softwares that I use are normally meant for like huge commercial stuff, and I'm using it to shitpost.
You know, one of the things I love about Sea of Thieves is like they have references to real pirates in there,
right?
And one of the pirates, I forget which island it's on, but you find a pirate hanging and there's a journal below it. And it's like a bailiff's report, right?
Right.
Now, if you guys are history fans at all, I highly, 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 highly recommend going and reading the pirate arrest records from the Old Bailey, right? It's like the old British courts, right? And all of the records are public record. So like you can look these. No, like you can look these up. These are from like the 15 to 1700s, dude.
My point, like at this point, regardless, it's in public record.
Yeah. I mean, but they're so old. But the cool thing is they've digitized them all. There is a pirate there, and I use this as an example in my classroom. Whenever we do pirates, and I'm like, all right, I want you guys to go on the Old Bailey, and I want you guys to find this pirate and tell me what he was arrested for. Right. And it's always one of those ones where you just see the kids scrolling through why the guy was arrested, and they're just like, no way. No way. And it always ends up with one kid going, Mr. S, did he really get arrested for 240 counts of public indecency? And I'm like, yes, yes, he did. And you know what they did? They put him in a cage naked outside on the side of a building. Why? I don't know, but apparently that was punishment, even though he'd been doing it before. He was probably like, yep.
I strongly feel like the reason that they did that was just for insult to injury. I feel like that's
not really. Not really, though. I just think it's fun. Well, they put him on the wharf side, right? Because he was a pirate. So what it meant was all the other pirates that knew he was like the dude that ran around the bar naked at the end of the night saw this dude chained up naked, just like getting a tan out in the fucking like middle of the harbor.
He's just chilling on the harbor.
There's Pirate Bob just hanging out naked again.
Again.
240 counts, man.
Things.
240 counts. And then there's like the real dude that's like based on Jack Sparrow. Like Jack Sparrow is based on. I always forget his name. He's a French pirate. But that guy stole something like 315 different ships during his career. Like he would literally just walk down to a dock, be like, that one, and just get on board and be like, greetings, everybody. I'm taking your ship. Get off, please, or I'm going to kill you all. Like, I don't want to, but like your ship is mine. And anyone that would try and fight him, he'd just like either shoot them or stab them and then take the ship. Now, the funny thing is that whole scene where he gets them to put the interceptor under sail in Pirates of the Caribbean while he's like dicking around with the big man of war, right? And they come and pull up alongside and he swings over and they all swing over, right?
Right.
And it's like two dudes like guarding the ship at the end. And he's just like, get off my ship or I'm going to kill you. And they just jump overboard. That's a real event that actually happened in history.
Yeet.
And
just yeet themselves off of the ship.
Well, yeah, because once it's under sail, you only need like two dudes to run the thing, right? It's not that hard to sail. It's just a Corvette like that.
You just need to have someone on the wheel and someone on the sails. That's it.
Yeah, and even then, like a lot of the sails were like set and forget at that point, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
You know, unless you needed to trim them up. But like, you know, I've done sailing all my life, by the way, everybody. So if like you question my sailing thing,
to sail, by the way,
I have a captain's license. Yes, I can sail boats over 100 feet. At that point, it's a ship.
It's a fucking yacht. All right.
No, yachts are 150 plus. That's a different license. I don't have one of those.
I thought you did.
I can say, no, I have a captain's license. That's up to 100 feet.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have the one for over 100 feet. Because that's a whole nother deal, because then side thrusters get involved, and you need two people to actually dock the boat. So you have to work with a co-pilot, and I'm not really, like, I'm not going to try and direct.
I don't want to work with other people.
Listen, you've seen me drive. I don't like it when other people drive. I get nervous, and I just get angry because people are doing it wrong.
Yeah, if you want to know how much he doesn't trust people driving, just go watch our GTA streams.
I don't trust anybody driving. I'm like, nope, I'll take my bike. I'll see you guys there. Like, because every time Patriot drives, it's I run over a civilian and now we have 25 cops chasing us. Or, yeah, as he goes off a cliff at like 300 miles an hour and just is like, fuck it, let's see where we land. Like,
hey, efficiency does not equal safe. All right.
Okay. Listen. At least you aren't the dude that was flying down the freeway at 200 miles an hour upside down in a helicopter.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that session.
I'm just like driving down the freeway, like delivering guns for like a bunker run, and it was just like, and I go.
No, like we were. I think we were up on our way to like meet up to drop the guns off. We were near the casino at one point. All of a sudden, we just like near upside down helicopter.
Yeah, dude, it was like it flew into the middle of an intersection and just hovered there upside down and then went into orbit.
I don't know how the guy pulled that off. Honestly,
now you got to admit that the shit that was impressive was when the guy turned on the automatic 5-star for everybody on the server.
Yeah.
And I got in a Learjet and avoided that shit for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I outflew Air Force, helicopters, and tanks on the ground shooting at me for like 10 minutes plus. And anti-air missiles, because I accidentally flew over the prison at one point like a dipshit. I'm like, whoopsies! I pull up and like do one of those like, turn and rolls and go out. But I also did a recent one that was one of those like get in a plane and fly through all the checkpoint events.
Yeah.
Right? I got in a plane 2 minutes before the event ended. Everybody else had like at least 40. I still ended up getting second place.
Oof.
Well, I found the canyon. If you can get into the canyon and stay and roll through it, there's almost 35 in the canyon.
Yeah.
It's just like the place that I immediately fly to if one of those events pops up. And I never do it in a helicopter because a helicopter is actually too narrow or too wide to get in there. You have to do it in a plane. And you have to knife edge it most of the way through. So that's like flying up on your wing and holding it like vertical.
Yeah, just holding it vertical
and like flying straight. It's really hard to do in that game. Because it's like strafing sideways while holding the max throttle. It's really like, it's hard to like steer. You have to turn on the free cam. Otherwise it doesn't work.
It does not.
It's actually easier to do in first person, funnily enough. Because I can turn my head with the other stick, right? And look out the side window and try and fly it straight. So I can actually hang the plane vertically and just fly it sideways. That's super difficult to do, though. I've only seen that done a couple of times. But, yeah. Fun times, dude.
Bunch of bullshit.
We've had a bunch of bullshit, and now we're playing Enlisted, everybody. Which, if you haven't played that game...
flying mechanics, Enlisted.
You want to know what? No, I figured out the flying mechanics. I figured out how they work, dude. I got a 32x kill streak with one of the planes yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Just doing strafing, right? Yeah, dude, I got in the Russian biplane and was just like... just killing dudes as I went over. Mostly because they were on that one map with the big road in the middle and all the Germans were running down the center of the road. And I'm just like, gish, 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 gish. I killed like tanks.
One thing that I do like about Enlisted is it's actually relatively fairly balanced.
Yeah, somehow. It's getting a little more unbalanced, but they're working on the matchmaking, so it's a little better now.
They're working on it, yeah. But still.
Dude, I ran into a game. Bro, I ran into a game yesterday where the entire enemy team was armed with MG42s, FNABs, and Gavur 43s, like the semi-auto.
Yeah.
And our team wasn't even able to spawn in like armor.
Yeah. Because it would just die.
No, bro. They like Deathcore Krieged it, man. They just dug in on B and just fucking rushed us time after time after time. Dude, they put an artillery cannon. They put 4 flak guns on top of the fucking point. And now you can resupply the flak guns off of the ammo thing. You can pick up an emplaced weapon canister. It's like a ammo crate. Right?
Yeah.
And you have to run the ammo crate over. And when you get close to it, you'll pull the old one out and stick the new one in, and it'll refresh the whole thing's ammo. So they literally had a dude. They put sandbags. Oh, you know the B bunker on the swamp? Yeah. It's like up on a hill, and it's like the little machine gun bunker. They fucking climbed up on top of that thing. They put sandbags up next to it. Climb up the sandbag. Climb on the roof. Right? They put 4 fucking flak guns down. They put an artillery cannon off and off, so they were mid between the things, and then sandbag the fucker up. There was no way, man. We threw the full guardsman charge at it. We actually got on comms and started communicating because this was pissing us off so bad. Right?
You know it's bad when you get on comms. That's when you know it's bad.
You know it's bad when everybody turns their voice cams on. I'm like, man, we got to get B. They're like, how are we going to do it? No one's got radio guys on our entire team. And I'm like, I know how we can do it.
Rush.
I'm like, how? And they're like, how? I'm like, go around the back edge of the map to the left, come up through the forest, and just fucking rush them. Just everybody get dynamite and fucking rush them and try and take out as much of that shit on that thing as possible. And they're like, Guardsman style? I'm like, Guardsman style. Let's do it, boys. And we got 7 squads. We had 7 squads of 9 dudes. Everybody with TNT, right? We didn't make it out of the fucking forest, bro. It was that, man. We just got, I'm like, I get on comms. Well, that went well. And they're like, what do you think? Swamp side? And I'm like, what do you think? Do you think we can just run them out of ammo? And I'm like, and the guy's like, let me get a sniper squad and see if I can take out that runner. I'm like, dude, if you can cover the runner, we can run him out of ammo with just sheer attrition.
Yep.
And he's like, all right, let's do it. And we finally took that bunker, but we did it with like the last 17 to 25 seconds of the game remaining.
Yeah.
We fucking rushed that bunker. Dude, we probably threw, I think, probably like 16 dynamite bundles at that bunker at the same time. Just like everybody was thinking at the exam, like, throw! And everybody just goes and yeets their dynamite bundles. You just see all this dynamite come out, and it was just like,
everything fucking dies.
Just feed everywhere, right? We blew up everything on the roof. We took out most of the sandbags. One of our dudes on our team was a pretty high-level guy. He's got the flamethrower squad for the Russians. Literally runs right up to the front of the bunker and just opens up on the bunker with the flamethrower. Yeah. Like literally puts the thing through the window and just pulls the trigger, right? So everything that was in the bunker is now dead. Right, friend or foe, he didn't give a fuck. He was so over that shit at that point.
Everything is going to die.
Man, Enlisted is fun. I kind of want to play that. Do you want to play some Enlisted after this?
I'm not sure. I'm supposed to be meeting with Graham at some point today.
Oh well,
because I'm installing I have to install Linux onto a system.
Oh right. You told me about that earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe when you get back.
Perhaps. Depending on how late it is.
Perhaps. Well, if you don't, I don't know. I might play some more Mass Effect. No, I kind of want to play some Enlisted because I got the Flamey Boys for the Americans now.
The American version of the Flamin' Warfare.
The M2 flamethrower or the M1 flame. I think it's an early M2. It's got the hose head.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't have the gun. The foregrip yet, so it's the early one. It's not the Pacific Theater one because the Pacific Theater one had the hand grips on it.
Right.
But it's also way easier to get into bunkers because you can get below it and just like pop the little nozzle up over the edge and go and cook everybody in. I mean, you can't do that in the game, but like, dude, that thing though. You know, remember that Russian town that we were trying, or the town in France we were trying to take that's got the little church in the middle?
Yeah.
The Germans, we dug into that church and weren't coming out. Bro, I crawled through the mud, literally behind one of our tanks with a flamethrower. That tank, I'm like, cover me, dude. I got a flamethrower. Tank's like, fuck yeah, get up there. And he just literally body blocked for me for bullets as I'm like crawling up there, and I just pop up around the side of the tank and was just... 32 kills.
Extra crispy chicken, anybody?
Extra crispy German schnitzel, anyone? With some extra sauerkraut because we took their point, because literally every dude watched the Chad flamethrower boy crawl through the mud without getting hit, pop up, and cook everybody. I've gotten so many first place runs in that game now. Yeah. It's dumb. Well, mostly because my rifle squad is 90% M1 carbines now. So like my rifle boys are just like,
yeah, they can put so much lead down range.
Dude, 13 rounds of fucking 30 cal, yeah. 30 carbine down range going like a bat out of hell. Dude, I literally in one game with one squad guy got like all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for me. I'm going to stop talking about games. I'll let Patriot do our little outro here. That's about it. We're about in an hour here, so we're gonna I think call it for episode number 1.
Hell yeah. Well, we at some point we'll probably be recording within the next like week or two with the episode 2 of the Phalynx Podcast. We're still trying to get into the rhythm of things. Once we get that down, we're solid. So
yes, indeed, Reno.
So there will be like once we get all of our planning and our schedules and figure out all that crap, we'll be able to consistently start putting out more episodes. This is also more of a test and seeing how exactly I'm planning on editing this, like whether it be style, whether it be like how I do the mastery of the audio, etc., that type of crap. So that being said, that's gonna be it for episode 1 of the Phalynx Podcast, the first official episode of this podcast. As we said before, everything that we've talked about, that we said there will be links that will all be in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, go on YouTube.
If you're on Spotify, click the YouTube Connect link that's under it, because like you can connect your social media or whatever it is on Spotify, right?
Something like that, I think.
Yeah, so go onto the YouTube link. If not, go to his Twitch or Twitter, find the YouTube link, go there, go under the description and check out the sponsors and other things we talked about in this video, because like you should check all of them out. They're all...
No, I set up a separate YouTube channel for the Crimson Phalynx.
Oh yeah, go to the Crimson Phalynx Podcast YouTube channel. Then I didn't realize that.
No, it's
Sorry.
just we're putting the podcast on there, but we're also putting stuff like highlights on there. I'm trying to set up so it's like that.
I didn't know this. You gotta tell me these things before we record.
I thought I told you.
I don't remember. I've been finishing a master's degree in the last 3 weeks. My brain is still goo. Okay.
Fair enough.
But all right.
Well, with that being said,
ladies and germs,
that is where we're going to call it. We have a lot of things planned for the future. A lot of things, to say the least. So until next time, this has been the Phalynx Podcast, and we say, have a good rest of your day / night, and don't forget to lose some brain cells.